Hello friends, welcome to my channel The Coder. Today we are going to write a C program to print prime numbers. So basically what we are going to do is we are going to take a number input from user and we are going to print prime numbers till that number. So for example, if user inputs number 9, then we are going to print 2, 3, 5, 7. So these are the prime numbers till number 9. So if you want to know what are prime numbers and if you want to understand how to write a C program to check whether the entered number is prime or not, you can refer to my previous video on this channel. So let's move to the writing program. So I am using online compiler. So what we are going to do is that first of all what we are going to do is we are going to include math library in our program. So hash include math dot h. Now we are going to write the code for taking a number input from user. Int n printf enter a positive number, then scanf %d because it is an integer, %n. Now we will move to writing the main logic for our code, that is we are going to find what prime numbers. So we will be using for loop for int I is equal to 2, I is smaller than equal to n, I plus plus. Now in this for loop we will use one more variable, that is int flag and we will set it to 1. Now we will use one more for loop and this will be our main for loop, means that this for loop will be used to calculate the prime numbers, or will be used to this for loop will be used to find prime numbers. So for int j is equal to 2, j is smaller than equal to square root of I and j plus plus. So we have used a square root function over here. So as to use this square root function in our program, we have to include math library in our program. Now we will use if loop, if I modulo j is equal to 0. Here we are checking the remainder of the division. Then we will set flag is equal to 0 and break. So what the break statement will do, it will break from the if loop as well as the for loop. So outside the second for loop and inside the main for loop, we will use one more if loop, if flag is equal to 1, then we are going to print the prime numbers, printf %d because integer, \n for new line, comma I, that we are going to print I. So this is our code. So let's run the code. So enter a positive number, let us say 9. So 2, 3, 5, 7, it is the output. That means that 2, 3, 5, 7 are the prime numbers till number 9. And we have not included 0 and 1 because 0 and 1 are not prime numbers. So let us understand how our code works. So first of all, what we have done, we have included the math library in our function program. Next we have we have initialized one variable, that is n, and we have taken the input from user using the printf and scanf statement, and we have stored that value in n. Now we have used for loop. In this for loop we have initialized I is equal to 2. That means our for loop will start from 2 and will iterate till I is smaller than equal to n. That means I is smaller than equal to n. And now we have, in that for loop we have used one more variable, that is flag, and we have set it to 1. So let us understand that I is equal to 2 and I is smaller than equal to n. So let us consider n is equal to 9. So 2 is smaller than equal to 9, condition satisfied, we will move into the loop, and here we have set the flag to 1. So we will move to the next loop, that is for loop. In this j is equal to j, we have initialized j is equal to 2 and j is smaller than equal to square root of I, that is means 2 is smaller than equal to square root of I is equal to 2, so that 2 is smaller than equal to square root of 2. So the condition is not satisfied because the square root of 2 is 1.4. So 2 is smaller than or equal to square root of I, that is 1.4, no. So the for loop will not get executed and we will move to the if condition, that is if flag is equal to 1, yes, and we will print I, that is 2. Now we will move to the updation of the for loop, that is the first for loop I plus plus. So 2 will be incremented to 3. So we will check the condition, 3 is smaller than equal to 9, yes, then the flag will again set to 1. And now we will move to the second for loop. Here j is still equal to 2 and 2 is smaller than equal to square root of 3, no, because square root of 3 is 1.7. so 2 is smaller than equal to square root of 3, no. So the condition is not satisfied and we will the for loop will still not get executed and we will move outside the second for loop, and here we will move to the if statement and we will check if the flag is 1. Yes, the flag is still set to 1, so we will print the I value of I, that is 3. Now the we will move again to the updation state, and that is I plus plus of the first for loop. Then I will be now incremented to 4, then again flag will be set to 1, and now we will check in the next for loop. J is still is equal to 2, 2 is smaller than equal to square root of 4, that is 2. So 2 is smaller than or equal to 2, yes, condition test satisfied. We will move to the inside of the for loop, that is if loop. Here we will check that I modulo j is equal to 0. Here we will check I is equal to 4, j is equal to 2, so 4 is divisible by 2, so the remainder is equal to 0. So condition is satisfied. We will move inside the if loop, that is flag will be set to 0 and we will execute break statement. So the break statement will do what? It will break from the if loop as well as the for loop. So we will come outside of the second for loop also, second for loop. Now we are still inside the first for loop. Here the flag is set to 0. So when we check if condition, the flag is not equal to 1, so the value of I will not get printed. Now we will move again to the updation stage of the first for loop, that is I plus plus. Now I will be is equal to 5. So 5 is smaller than n, yes. Now we will 9, then we will move inside the for loop, that is flag will be set to 1 again. Then we will move into the second for loop. Here j is still is equal to 2 because in previous iteration we have used the break statement, so that due to that we have moved outside of the for loop also. So j plus plus didn't the condition the updation was not executed, that is j plus plus. So j is still 2. Now 2 is smaller than equal to square root of 5, yes, because square root of 5 is 2.2. so 2 is smaller than square root of 5. The condition is satisfied. We will move inside the loop. If now the if loop will check for the condition, that is 5, I is equal to 5 modulo j is still is equal to 2, so 5 modulo 2 is not equal to 0, so the if loop will not be executed. Now we will move to the j plus plus, that is updation of the second for loop. Now the j will be incremented to 3. So 3 is smaller than square root of 5, no. So we will break from we will come outside of the second for loop and we will move to the if statement. And if here the flag is still set to 1, so we will print I, that is 5. Now we will move to the updation of the first for loop, that is I will be incremented to 6. Then 6 is smaller than equal to 9, yes. Then flag will be set again to the 1 because we will flag will be still set to 1. Now we will move to the second for loop. Here j is still equal to 2 because in the earlier iteration when j was updated, we have come out of the for loop. So j is still equal to 2. So 2 is smaller than equal to square root of 6, yes, condition is true because square root of 6 is 2.44. so 2 is smaller than equal to square root of 6, yes, condition satisfied. We move inside the loop. Here if in if loop we will check I is equal to 6, 6 is divided by 2 is equal to 0, yes, condition is satisfied. 6 is divisible by 2 and the remainder is 0, so the flag will be set to 0 and break statement will be executed. So we will move move out of the second for loop due to the break statement. So here we will check if statement. If flag is now set to 0, so flag is not equal to 1, so we will not print I. So again we will move to the updation stage of the first for loop, that is I plus plus. So I will be incremented to 7. 7 is smaller than or equal to 9. Yes, flag will be set to 1. We will move to the second for loop. Now here j is still set to 1 because 2, j is still set to 2 because in earlier iteration j was not updated because due to the break statement. So j is still set to 2. J is smaller than or equal to square root of 7. Yes, because square root of 7 is 2.64. So condition is satisfied. We move inside the for loop, that is if statement. Here we will check the condition. So I is equal to 7. 7 modulo 2, that is not equal to 0. So if loop will not be executed. So here the condition, here j will be updated. So j plus plus, so j will now be 3. So 3 is smaller than square root of 7. No, because square root of 7 is 2.64. So 3 is not smaller than square root of 7. So the for loop, we will come out of the for loop and we will check the if statement. So the flag is still set to 1. So we will print I, that is 7. Now we will move to the updation of the first for loop, that is I plus plus. So I will be incremented to 8. So it is smaller than 9. Yes, condition is satisfied. The flag will be set to 1. We will move to the next second for loop. J is still is equal to 2. J is smaller than or equal to square root of I, that is 8. So square root of 8 is 2.82. So 2 is smaller than or equal to square root of I, that is true. Condition is satisfied. So we will move inside of the for loop. So here if we will check the if condition. If I is 8 divided by 2, the condition is satisfied, that is 8 is divisible by 2. So it will the remainder will be equal to 0. So flag will be set to 0 and we will break from the if loop as well as for loop. So we will check the if condition outside the second for loop, that is if flag is equal to 1, but as flag is set to 0 in for the above iteration for second for loop, the flag is not equal to 1, so I will not be printed. So we will move to the updation stage of the first for loop, that is I plus plus. Here I will be incremented to 9. So the 9 is smaller than or equal to 9. Condition is satisfied. We will move inside the for loop. Flag will be set to 1. And then again we will move to the second for loop. J is equal to 2. 2 is smaller than square root of 9. Square root of 9 is 3. Condition is satisfied. 2 is smaller than 3. So we will move inside the for loop. Then I is equal to 3. 3 divided by 2 is not equal to 0. So if loop is satisfied, if loop condition is not satisfied, so we will move to the updation stage of the second for loop, that is j plus plus. So j will be incremented to 3. So 3 is smaller than square or equal to square root of 9 I, that is 9. Yes, 3 is smaller than equal to square root of 3 9, that is 3. So condition is satisfied. So we will move inside the for loop, that is if loop. We will check the condition. I is equal to 9, j is equal to 3. So 9 is divisible by 3 and the remainder is equal to 0. So condition is satisfied. We will set flag is equal to 0 and we will execute a break statement. So we will come out of the if loop as well as for loop. So the flag is now set to 0. So we will check if condition. So flag is set to 0. So flag is not equal to 1. We will not print I. So thus the we will move to the updation stage, that is I plus plus. Now I will be incremented to 10. So 10 is smaller than or equal to the n, that is 9. No. So we will come out of the first for loop also and our program is completed over here. So this is how we write a C program to print prime numbers for between any number or till that number. So thank you for watching the video. Please like, share and subscribe. If you have any queries or questions related to this program, you can write in the comment section. I will assist you. And if you have any problem statements or C programs that you want me to implement in the next videos, you can also write them into the in the comment section. So let's grow together. Thank you.